Tout le monde, désolé pour cette petite erreur d'application. Du coup, on reprend exactement là où on s'en était arrêté. Où on était arrêté plutôt. Et du coup,
He's not coming back, you know.
let's go.
What are you talking about?
Emmett, without me to guide him, he's almost useless. Before I found him, he was a miserable failure who never finished anything. But with me to inspire him, look at what we've built!
Carrément, elle vient me parler comme si de rien n'était. La vraie femme de Doc est plus cool que vous.
You're not the only inspiration of Doc's life, you know. In my timeline, he married one of the sweetest women of the 19th century.
Sweetness. Blech. Emmett needs discipline to stay focused.
Putain, ça c'est vraiment le mot de la famille Strickland. Discipline. Comme dans le 3 là.
You think you've inspired Doc? I'll have you know that without you, Emmett Brown is destined to build a time-traveling DeLorean and a flying time train.
Preposterous. Emmett couldn't even build a dog feeder without me to guide him.
Yeah,
Putain,
well,
mais
he
quel
did
connasse.
that too. Yeah, you've inspired him all right. Inspired him to turn Hill Valley into a bunch of uptight dorks.
I wouldn't expect a delinquent like you to understand.
Okay, Your Honor. Starting to get a little concerned here.
Hi. Ah gros.
It worked! Ha ha! 1 second I'm in the present, the next I'm 6 months in the past. Amazing!
6 months? It took you 6 months to repair the time machine?
6 months, my family fortune, and a sketchy deal with a gang of Libyan nationals. But it was all worth it for this moment. Ha ha!
Emmett, don't do this. You need help.
Oh, blow it out of your exhaust, poor dear. Now that I've escaped into the past, your pack of divorce lawyers can't... Mart, how long have you been waiting for me?
A couple of minutes, maybe?
That's curious. I set the repair time circuits to arrive only a couple of seconds after I left. Oh, well, I'm sure there's no need for concern. It's probably just a minor miscalibration on the time circuits. Here,
J'espère.
What's this?
clothes for our trip. We can't have you traipsing around 1931 in that ridiculous outfit.
Wait,
Full rêve.
our trip?
You didn't
Comme
think I
dans
was
le
going to
2.
let you erase the worst mistake of my life without
comme
my
dans le
help,
3.
did you?
Fine, leave.
Ah ouais là c'est chaud Kevin. Si tu connais la DeLorean sous Deluxo,
I run this
justement,
town.
la Deluxo vient de Retour vers le futur Kevin. Là, le vrai nom de cette voiture c'est la DeLorean.
Time circuit set for August 26, 1931. You ready to go, Your Honor?
Call me, Doc.
Bam bam bam. Pan-a-nan, dun, 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 dun-a-nan, dun, 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 dun-a-nan. Ah, ta Deluxo elle fait pas ça Kevin hein.
This is where I last saw him. You, teenage you. You were headed this way, arm in arm with Edna.
Luckily, my erstwhile wife was never the type to kiss on a first date. If we work fast and stay focused, we can see to it that our relationship never moves beyond the hand-holding stage. Well, will you look at that? The old town theater.
What about it?
I haven't thought about this place in years. The missus made me tear it down back in '71. Said the movies were corrupting the younger generation. It was all nonsense, of course. I spent countless evenings here in my youth, and it never turned me...
Mais du coup on est avec le doc du 1986 alternatif.
Why, you dirty rat, no good yellow-bellied stool. Never did manage to see Frankenstein, though.
Non, j'ai jamais joué Kevin.
But you're going to. That's what we're here for, remember?
right, of course. The film that was supposed to set off a chain reaction in my imagination, inspiring with a notion that would launch my scientific career.
You've still got no memory of what that notion was?
Well, how could I? It happened in the brain of a different Emmett Brown. An Emmett Brown now erased by the shifting sands of time.
Ah ouais, du
Luckily
coup,
for us, I do know something about my own brain.
le vrai Emmett, il existe plus en vérité.
Once we get my younger self re-inspired by that movie, nothing will distract him from his proper... Great Scott, will you look at that?
The town square?
It's just like I remember it, only dirtier. Oh, the old courthouse.
Come on now, Doc, you need to go inside and check it out. First rule of time travel, Doc, never allow your other self to catch sight of you. It could cause reality to collapse or something.
You mean?
Right behind you. Don't peek. Go on. I'll let you know when you're gone. And don't forget, you're Carl Sagan.
The billions and billions guy?
The suspected arsonist.
Huh?
Just go with it.
Bon, clairement la save.
Michael, you do show up at the oddest moments. Where have you been hiding?
Oh, you know, here and there, you're a little hard to pin down yourself. I went looking for you last night, but...
I believe I was off entertaining a beautiful lady.
Ouais, pas de soucis, Xander.
I never really got a chance to thank you.
Well, I'm sure you would have escaped Kid on your own.
Kid? Oh, sure, I'm grateful for that, but no, I'm talking about Edna. It's funny to think of now, but until that crisis, I actually thought Edna and I disliked one another. Imagine!
Yeah, well, sometimes first impressions are right. The thing is, you shouldn't let Edna distract you from, you know, the business at hand. Finishing your project for the expo and going to see Frankenstein.
Oh, pshaw. I'm far too busy for movies these days.
Oh merde.
And as for my project, it's practically done.
The rocket car?
The rocket car? Boy, are you out of date. I've junked a rocket car.
But...
More trouble than it's worth. I'll never figure out a propulsion system that does what I want it to do. And besides, its social utility is practically non-existent.
Putain, elle l'a modifié déjà, putain.
No, you were really onto something with the rocket car. You've just gotta...
The mental alignment meter is a much more worthy project.
The what?
It was Edna's idea, and she's really been cracking the whip to get me to complete it in time for the expo.
Emmett, I'm a little confused here. What day is it?
Why, it's opening day. The opening day of the expo. Which reminds me, I'd better
On est
skedaddle
déjà
back
le
to the
12
lab.
octobre.
If Edna catches me dawdling, there'll be heck to pay. Catch you around, Corleone.
October 12th. Doc?
Il y a un problème là. Soit il y a un problème avec le truc de la DeLorean qui permet de set la date.
Come to think of it, it is a bit brisk for August.
Oh, we're 2 months late. The expo's about to start and teenage you is already in over his head with Edna.
I always did have a tendency to plunge into things.
Let's plunge into the DeLorean and get to the right date.
No, it's far too risky. Remember how I was late picking you up in '86?
Yeah?
That should have been a tip-off. Something is horribly wrong with the time circuits, and the problem appears to be getting worse. If we try to jump now, we could find ourselves stranded in the Cenozoic age. Or worse, the Mesozoic.
Then we're stuck?
For the time being. I'll look into the problem and see what I can do. In the meantime, you can go to work on the other problem.
Right. I'll go to the lab and see if I can talk teenage you out of...
Impossible. If young me is already as infatuated as you say, you're not going to be able to talk him out of anything. Believe me, I remember. Better to focus on the more clear-headed half of the couple.
Edna? Where can I find her?
Where do you think? I'll drive. The DeLorean should still function adequately as a means of conveyance in the first 3 dimensions.
Oh, le lycée.
You were right. There she is.
My soon-to-be ex-future wife is nothing if not predictable.
Do I really have to talk to her? I mean, couldn't I just hang out until you fix the time circuits and... I'll talk to her.
C'est bien ce que je pensais.
You better get the DeLorean out of sight before someone...
Hey you! Quit blocking the drive!
Eh, mais c'est pas le gars qui était dans le bar, lui?
Report to the north tent.
Why not? Good luck!
On dirait vraiment que c'était lui. Alors attends. On va refaire une save. Tente des voitures du futur. Débat.
Come see the cars of the future. Brought to you by Statler DeSoto. I shouldn't go anywhere until I've talked to Edna.
Dun, 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 dun. Salut mon petit ch'te gris. Comment tu vas?
Spell it B-R-O-W-N. It's not exactly an obscure name.
I still don't see it on the list. I'm sorry.
Oh, for the love... Let me try this one more time. This is the Hill Valley Science Expo, right?
First annual.
Indeed. The
Ouais,
purpose of
tranquille,
our
hein.
fair is to showcase cutting-edge technology.
That's right. And to burnish Hill Valley's reputation as a forward-thinking community.
And yet, you want to exclude the maker of the most revolutionary breakthrough of all.
It's not that I want to, but... Oh, dear.
Mr. Corleone, you do pop up at the oddest times. What are you doing here?
I need to...
Whatever it is, I hope you don't have to
S'en bat les
deal with
couilles.
Mr. Stonewall here. His sole function seems to be preventing people from accomplishing their business. Honestly, with him keeping the books, it's a wonder the Tannen gang got as far as they did. Have you seen Emmett?
Du coup les gars, est-ce que quand je vais essayer de faire exprès de parler pendant que eux ils parlent et vous allez me dire si vous m'entendez bien parce que j'ai changé de manette. Normalement vous êtes censé m'entendre bien depuis tout à l'heure et tout, enfin je l'espère en tout cas.
No.
Then you've heard all about his big breakthrough.
Est-ce que là vous
the
m'entendez
mental
bien quand
alignment
je parle en
meter.
même temps
Isn't
qu'elle?
it exciting? And to
Ça
think
fait pas une voix
he didn't
chelou.
even realize the import of his discovery until I pointed it out to him. I've never known anyone like him, so oblivious to his own potential.
I kind of wanted to talk to you about Emmett and his potential.
Funny, I didn't spot it myself at first. In fact, for the longest time, I thought I didn't even like him.
Yeah.
Ok, merci Trofax. Bon bah c'est bon alors. Ouais, ça me fait pas la voix dégueulasse avec l'autre de l'autre manette quoi.
Well, you know, those gut instincts are important. If you disliked him right off the bat.
Oh, but I didn't know him then. Now I know him inside and out.
Yeah, but...
I appreciate your concerns, Mr. Corleone, but I can take care of myself. I know what I'm looking for in a man, and it so happens Emmett fits the bill to a T. That's Emmett Brown. Rhymes with clown, which I'm beginning to think you are.
Just a simple mix-up, I'm sure.
I've no doubt of that.
Alors on va prendre un petit indice. Si tu veux séparer Edna et Emmett, il te faudra parler à Edna. Bah, c'est clairement ce qu'on fait. On fait une petite save. Hein. On va reprendre un indice, j'ai pas envie spécialement de galérer là-dessus. Edna semble occupée mais persévère. Parle à Edna jusqu'à ce que tu saches pourquoi elle aime Emmett. Ok.
You said that Emmett fits your bill of requirements for a man.
Yes?
Merci pour
What
le
would that
retour les
list
gars.
be exactly?
You'd make a good reporter, Mr. Corleone, you know that? Well, his physical appearance for one thing. Emmett may not be Clark Gable, but he cleans up surprisingly well. I gave him my grandfather's white suit to wear at the expo. Oh, you should see him in it. He looks positively radiant.
Looks good in a suit. Got it.
And he's completely devoted to me. That's important. I've got no time or tolerance for playboys.
Faithful as a Labrador. Check.
Thirdly, and most
Comme un Labrador.
important,
Yes?
well, his mind, of course. It's brilliant, and it's virtuous through and through. His own mind map shows him to be a model citizen.
Good brain. I see. And if it turned out that you were mistaken about any of these qualities...
Say, what's your game?
Just curious. Just trying to understand the female mind.
Well, understand this. I'm not some faint-hearted girl who'd run away at the first hint of trouble. I've made a big investment in Emmett. Not money, but I've sunk all my ambitions into him. I'd have to be thoroughly disillusioned before I'd call it quits with Emmett. Got it?
Uh-huh.
Now, Mr. Cub Reporter, is there anything else?
What the heck is this mental alignment meter of Emmett's?
Oh, it's an absolutely revolutionary invention. Measures a person's affinities, what he's attracted to, what he's repulsed by, that sort of thing.
Interesting. And it really works?
Well, of course. What's the point of inventing something that doesn't work? Or, anyway, it works well enough for my purposes.
Rather hard for me to picture Emmett as a chick magnet.
Chick magnet?
A guy who gets the girls, motors running.
Motors?
Who makes them, you know.
You mean a chic?
Yeah.
Well, it's a matter of taste, I suppose, but when he's properly pomaded and decked out in my grandfather's white suit...
Ok, donc il
and
faut
it
pas
just
qu'il porte le
glows.
costume, quoi.
Makes my heart flutter a bit just to picture him.
You say you know Emmett is a model citizen, but you don't know him as well as I do. Did you know he once cheated some Libyans out of plutonium?
Plutonium? What would Libyans want with plutonium? I'm sure he had a very good reason. Emmett's mind map demonstrates conclusively his brain is oriented toward virtue.
This one time, to power one of his science experiments, Emmett hijacked a train.
Full rêve.
There hasn't been a train hijacking in Hill Valley since the days of Mad Dog Tannen.
Débat, Mad Dog Tannen. Molosse. Ce nom, je le supporte pas, t'entends? Personne ne m'appelle Molosse. Encore moins venant de la part d'une mouche à merde déguisée en arbre de Noël.
Emmett's done a lot of shady things in his time. My vice principal warned me to stay away from him.
Your vice principal sounds like a dolt.
Vous êtes Molosse, Tannen? Molosse. Molosse. J'aime trop le Molosse.
So you say Emmett only has eyes for you?
Absolutely. It's almost embarrassing how devoted he is to me.
Well, it's good to hear he's finally settling down.
Yes. Settling down?
You know, ready to stop playing the field, as it were.
Playing the... Oh, you're joking.
But I can't help feeling sorry for him.
Who?
All of Emmett's other girls, now that he's with you.
Please, I think I know Emmett by now. There are no other girls.
I wonder what's gonna happen to Emmett's little black book.
Little black book?
Oh, it's legendary. That's what enabled Emmett to become the, Valentino of Hill Valley High. Gee, I wonder if he'd let me have it.
You must think I'm pretty gullible, Mr. Corleone.
Bon.
That's all the questions I got.
Very well, then.
Trixie.
Hey, Audie, you see my Orioli?
You mean this?
Orioli?
Yeah, thanks.
She gets to come and go freely, and I'm forced to wait. I love it.
Erreur.